day cuatro of Mindfulness Month. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the misconceptions you or others may have around mindfulness. There's a lot of them, and as this movement, this mindfulness thing has become more popular, especially in the West, there's a lot of confusion about what it is and what it isn't. So let's kind of go through some of this stuff so you understand what it is and what it isn't, basically. So one of the most common things is the idea that mindfulness is about clearing your mind and not having thoughts or not having emotions, just being clear. While a clear mind is great, that's not what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is about being in the mind. It's not achieving a blank mind. It is instead building awareness so that you're observing your thoughts and feelings and what's going on in the outside world without judgment. The goal is not a blank mind. It's to become aware of your thoughts and feelings as they arrive and accept them without getting caught up in them. So if you can be aware as they're coming up, you're not caught up in them. You see them, right? You see them more clearly. Now, a lot of times while you're mindfully meditating, and the easiest way to do it is just to focus on your breath. Like, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. There's a great book by Thich Nhat Hanh called The Blooming of a Lotus. It has lots of meditations in it. But you will notice your mind wandering. There's no, I don't believe there are people on the planet, maybe the Dalai Lama, that can just, without their mind wandering. That's what minds do. And so the key there is not to judge yourself for your mind wandering or your mind start, the monkey on your shoulder chattering in your brain. It's just the key there is to become aware of it. And once you're aware of it, as soon as you can become aware of it, you take a deep breath and you gently guide your mind back to the present moment. It's normal to have thoughts. You're going to have thoughts. Your brain is a thought-making machine, just as your heart is a blood-pumping machine. Your mind's going to make thoughts. It's what's incumbent upon you is to be aware of them and what they're doing to your emotional life as they come up, right? Another misconception is that mindfulness is about relaxation. It can be used for relaxation, and it's great. It can help you relax, but it goes way beyond that. It's about, again, cultivating awareness and presence in whatever you're doing. So this can be practiced in stressful situations as well as peaceful ones, and it helps you navigate life with clarity and resilience. So for example, you can be mindful while you're washing the dishes. Now I hate washing the dishes. It really bothers me. But you can be mindful. You can be brushing your teeth. You can be washing the car. Whatever you're doing, you can be mindful in any given moment. And it's about being fully engaged and present in what you're doing, whether you're in a calm situation or you're in a challenging situation. Another thing that people think that is a misconception is that mindfulness takes a lot of time. It does not. The idea is, okay, well, I need to set aside lots of time to practice mindfulness and meditation for it to be effective. But the truth is, like we were just saying, mindfulness can be integrated in everyday activities. Even if you have just a few moments, it is about the quality, not the quantity, right? So you can practice mindfulness while you're drinking your coffee or you're having a walk. The idea is to become fully aware wherever you're doing, no matter how mundane the task may seem, like dishes. We're gonna hate dishes. So it doesn't require a lot of time. You can do it during anything. So it's no additional time needed. I mean, you could do it, mindfulness might make you do it a little more slowly. It's not a bad thing. But even if you're doing it at a frenetic pace, you can be aware of what you're doing in those moments. And the last one that this is a big one that I think stops at least some people that I know. And that's the idea that mindfulness is a religious practice. It is not. It is not. It has its roots in Buddhism, but let's be honest, Buddhism isn't actually religion. It's more of a philosophy. And it is just true? I mean, what about saying, hey, I'm going to be in this moment? It might be spiritual, but what is it about that's religious? I mean, I'm sure Jesus wanted to be in the moment too, you know what I mean? Like, or whoever. I'm not even going to go, I'm going to start down that road. But it's not about, oh, I can't practice that. I worked for a Catholic book publishing company, and I was the marketer person for their bookstores. And I found out that these nuns, because it was run by nuns, it was a bunch of nuns, very sweet people for the most part. I love them all for the most part. But one of the weird things that I found was that they thought yoga was from the devil, and that there were priests that were coming to them telling them this stuff. And you're like, it's just simply not true. It's simply not true. Being mindful is paying attention to the creation that God has put in front of you. In fact, being mindful, if you're not being mindful, is kind of like sticking your finger up at God, saying, I don't want what you have put in front of me. I don't want what you're giving me. I want something else. You know what I mean? Like I'm living in lack. Something's missing, and what's in front of me is not, I'm not satisfied with it, which is hard to not be sometimes, but you're flipping God off if you're not going to be mindful. Because you're not paying attention to creation, and creation is amazing, right? I mean, God created the heavens and the earth, and you got the first 7 days. One of the things that Michael Singer says in one of his talks is interesting, is like you never hear about the 8th day, but it's still happening. Creation is still happening. And if you're not there for it, you're missing your life. So that is pretty much it. People, it's a form of mental training, really. It's kind of like almost like a physical exercise, right? It's for well-being and mental clarity, and it just transcends religious boundaries. It's just a practice that people can do to make their life better. So that's about it for today. This was a shorter one. I am going to remind you guys that even if you're like, I don't know what mindfulness is it religious? Is it, I don't know what other things you were thinking that mindfulness is or isn't, but whatever the case may be, I just want to remind you guys that you can always choose to have a grateful day.